Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 130 of Live Drawing. And we're thrilled to have our good friend Allison with us tonight. So
Hi, everyone. It's great seeing everybody.
thanks for joining us.
I can't really see you, but it's good to be here.
Yeah, I don't know. I get too nervous and self-conscious, so I just do the hands thing.
Just the jazz hands.
Yeah. Jazz hands. Ah. Got a little tea. Got some inking to do.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out.
And this is for Allison's book, The Last Sentinel. And I am. I'll show off This was like the full-size layout prelim that I did because I was finding some stuff I needed to fix as I was looking at it, so I couldn't just start inking this version. So what I like to do is go back in with just cheap markers and stuff and just fix things so that when I light box it, some of the anatomy was off, some of the lighting was off. Our primary light source is behind the character and a little bit low, so it's like when we color it, I'm envisioning like a lot of magenta and then basically like an orange break.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so that there's like this hard color background. It's going to be a very warm, and then we'll probably add like just a cool shadow on some of the foreground rocks, or just this water down below, like just a solid cyan with like all orange and magenta.
Very cool.
Around it, yes. I like making covers that you can see from across the room. So.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I also understand cheap markers.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, I love those. I love those little flare pens, and
those are great.
They're just fun, and I honestly like. After Undersea Hero, I was thinking about doing just a series, just calling it like flares or something, because I do little cartoons for myself with these things, and it's really just to get myself through a day or entertain myself. And
yeah,
I don't know, maybe people would enjoy them. They're not.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Sometimes they're stupid thoughts. Most of the time, they're stupid thoughts, I'd say. I don't know. I saw this character when you gave me all those parts, and the big giant tome Bible, and I was just like, this is a young, tough lady who's going through some stuff, and I wanted to show her strength and have, there be tension, but also a lot of resolve in the figure. So that's why I have the nice curve with the weight through the leg, and she's walking, taking steps forward. Like that's why the one leg is up and coming back. I don't know if she's been through a battle, but her arm is touching the wall, just showing the spatial relationships. And I know you had a lot of like symbolism with chains in your stories, so I wanted to have chains in the background showing that like this is a world where people, like, you don't know it's not entirely a fantasy world, it's not entirely a future world necessarily. Like I wanted there to be some of that question, but little nuggets here and there, so that if somebody really wanted to take it all in, it said a little bit more of the world.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, because it's a post-apocalyptic world in the sense that inspired by both like the Book of the New Sun and Thunder of the Barbarian. So
yeah. And there are some post-apocalyptic stories that take place like in the civilization before ours. So like I wanted it to be mysterious, I guess.
Oh no, I completely agree with that. I'm a big supporter of that, and that's actually I did this on your stream.
Michael says hello and has our favorite entrance. If we had entrance music for his greeting. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, and if not, I hope things get better for you.
That's Michael. Michael's a great guy.
I love that. Love that. I'm actually going to put in the chat. I've started updating the Fat Cat Funnies website. And I've posted a couple of the books from the early days. And there's the Dime Box comics and the first Small Town type. So I'm just going to
very cool.
Put that in the chat here.
That's definitely cool. We were talking about like doing web comics on that site. That'd be fun to do. Oh.
Although it's not letting, for some reason, Restream doesn't want to send something to the Facebook chat, so I'll have to manually put that in there, I think.
Yeah, I've had that problem with a few things that it doesn't really want to post it to Facebook and stuff. Went to like StreamYard and things. All right.
Put it up on the screen. Yeah, and I definitely plan on doing a web-based comics for that stuff going forward. So yeah, if you want to do a public domain character, your original characters, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'd absolutely love to do something.
You're welcome to. I'm happy to invite my friends, my talented friends, to basically just do whatever they want.
Makes sense. I had a joke there for a second, but it's not fair. He's not here, so I can't make
it. Yeah. I did see Jay's new pages for his 90s inspired comic. He's having fun with that.
Oh God, that thing looks great. That thing looks amazing. That was the person I was about to make the joke about. But
yeah, I figured. For those who don't know, Jay's like one of my oldest friends, and we've gone on many a road trip and convention and stuff together. So we have a. And Alison, you've known Jay since Boston, 2008, 2009,
earlier.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, no, I've known Jay in here for a long time. I believe I met you guys through Rick Silva.
Yes, Rick and Jin.
Yep.
Good people.
Yeah, they're back in the States. Living up on the up in Western Mass.
Oh, okay, not that far. I'll have to bug it.
Yeah, they moved back a year or two ago now. Something like that. No.
They were in parts far away.
Parts unknown.
Starting off with something a little easier because I was washing dishes, so I've got dishwasher hands right now. They're kind of raisiny.
Oh, that's always fun. I actually washed a couple of dishes myself earlier, so.
Do you have a dishwasher?
I call it my sink. So yeah.
Yeah. Same as us. We had one at our old place, and it's like one of the few things I miss about it. They had like a small dishwasher, like it didn't do like a big load, but it was enough to take the edge off,
I had a portable one for a while, but I ended up giving it away to a friend of mine with the move I just did. I'm actually living with my friend Jeremy now. I'm living actually down in his basement. He has a big finished basement, which is far larger than my studio apartment I was living in, and a lot cheaper. Yeah. If I can get myself upstairs, I can use the dishwasher up there and stuff. But I generally just use my sink down here.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a second. Come on in. Watch out for the. Yep. Yeah, I'm on with Ian right now. Speak of the devil, and he will arrive.
Hello.
I didn't know what he wanted. Just a 6-piece chicken McNugget.
That's fine. Thank you.
We're gonna go grab Kaju.
Yep, and I think you got to get Rocket too. Yep, they both went out.
Come back.
Sure. He'll go up and bother your brother.
And he delivers your dinner.
Yes, he did. Got nuggets. There we go. So I can munch on nuggets while we're streaming. And apparently I got an extra straw. So yeah, fantastic. This was supposed to be D&D day for stuff. I had some things I had to do today, so I canceled my game, and that's what put me here to be able to come on with you. And I usually play in Jeremy's game, but
you have separate games.
Yeah, I run one at 5 at Battleground in Abington. If anyone ever wants to come down and play, I can probably squeeze you into a D&D game. And I get paid for it, so not a lot. I get paid, store credit, and then I play in Jeremy's game, and it's a good time. I like my D&D.
Yeah.
And yeah, so do that. But today I had some stuff I had to do in Boston and things, and I've been having a lot of mobility issues for the past few days. So,
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
yeah. So I ended up rescheduling my appointment, but I got to take the kitten in and get snipped tomorrow morning.
He's got to get his nails trimmed.
No, I got to get his neutered.
Oh, you're getting fixed.
Yep, he's getting fixed. His nails will be getting trimmed too. But yeah, so I got to go and do that.
Is that his first trip to the vet with you?
No.
Or no?
No, I've taken him a bunch of times.
Okay.
He's gotten all of his shots and everything, so.
I'm holding him this way because he's struggling.
Oh, you can show up on film for a second. You can show up on
We'll
the
be upstairs
YouTubes and
if you need
things.
me.
Yep. All right. I have to give everyone the visual of Kaiju, the amazing kitten of doom. There he is.
This is a very cat-friendly program, so yes.
Yep. Rocket's on the floor, but yeah. Let's see if this works. There we go. All right.
There was one thing I was wondering when I was drawing this character's hands was in this future, would they do their nails?
Some would, I'm pretty sure. Danny, I don't see really doing her nails. Matter of fact, she probably keeps her nails very trimmed.
Yeah.
Being that she spent a good portion of her life as a slave, so.
Yeah, but that's one of those little character things that, you never know. It could say something that she does or doesn't, and, especially in a place where their resources would be difficult, except for maybe, like a board, like a...
Yeah. She grew up in a monastery, and then basically got grabbed by slavers.
So if she grew up in a monastery, did she able to read and write?
Yep.
Okay.
But she doesn't actually read and write the local tongue because she's basically from effectively Tibet.
Okay. I don't want to say too much because I don't know what you don't want to reveal.
Yeah. The background I can reveal a bit of her because it's not in the book.
Okay.
It's more of just stuff that I'll probably explore later, like the reason why she left the monastery and things like that. I'll go into at some other point. I have a little storyline for that. I'll probably tell some of the backstory and things that she went through. But she was effectively owned by my version of Mojo. So.
Oh, okay. I understood that reference. Cue the Captain America gif.
Yep. I love it. But yeah, so that's the inspiration for that one. Actually, I got a picture of him here.
I was actually reading a later issue of Marvel Age that I got for like 50 cents. And it had a bunch of stuff about the Age of Apocalypse. And when I was a kid, I read all those books, and like some of it didn't make any sense whatsoever, and they left some plot holes open. Yep. And in this issue of this magazine, they explained everything. And I'm like, why wasn't this in the book? This was
that would have been kind of useful.
this was so much better with knowing this stuff. It's like finding, and what I'm 40 now. This was 1994, so we're talking like 30 years ago. I finally know what happened with some of these characters.
Yep.
And there was another thing that was in it that was fascinating, and apparently, the wedding of Jean Grey and Scott Summers was prompted by the show and not the other way around.
Huh. I did not know that.
I didn't either. So that's like another thing that Larry Houston, the showrunner, did that affected the universe at large.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a response to them like killing Superman and shit.
Yeah, apparently they were going to have them get married in season 2 of the show from pretty early on in development of the show, and they had like a writers' summit, and they talk about this in the magazine. And Nicieza was there, Lobdell was there, Bob Harris, the group editor at the time, and apparently when they heard about what they were doing in the show, they're like, "Well, we'll do that."
I like that. That's actually really cool.
I hear a kitty.
Yep, he wants to get out of the room. I generally keep him down here to keep him out of people's hair upstairs. Jeremy and his brothers. Now, Jeremy loves the cat. His brother is, I don't think he hates him or anything like that. He just doesn't want to deal with him. So, actually, Jeremy likes both the cats. But he's loud.
That's all right. Bruce can yell too, so.
And he's coming running over to me now because I looked at him.
Not because you have chicken nuggets?
No, those I have kind of stashed away. So now he's trying to go for them now.
He heard me.
Yep, he did. And that's the other one.
They got a call and response going on now.
Yep. Oh, Martha's here. How's it going? Oh, God, you're a creep. Yes, you are. You're a lovable little creep. Hey, go get your brother.
One of the things I found helpful with your design was, whenever you're doing foreshortening, it's always good to have some like topographical lines, perpendicular to your anatomy, and like the wraps are really great for that. So it helps gives the foreshortening.
It lets it pop a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting the issue out, and I resolved the story that's in it, like the base story. There's more to it, but it doesn't end on like there is a cliffhanger, but it's not like a to be continued type thing.
Yeah.
It's open. So you do get a complete story.
Now, does this book tie into it ties into your other books, right? There's some crossover.
Oh yeah, they're all in the same universe.
Yeah.
Martha says she sent you some stuff via Gmail.
Oh, did you? I'll pull it up right now. I'll look at it right now. Gmail. Because with my new computer, it won't crap out on me if I look at Gmail.
Even better. Kaiju's on top of the cat carrier. He's getting ready for tomorrow. He's like, oh, the cat carrier's out. I get to go for a ride. I don't think he's that smart. Damn it.
I am not seeing it. Let's see here. I will search for your name. Yeah, I don't see it, Martha's.
Excuse me. Yes, I see you. I see you too.
YouTube.
Martha's, I don't remember saying I talked to you on Discord.
I don't see the email. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my inbox right now. Would it be coming from a Martha?
No, if I did say I was talking to you on Discord, I apologize. I probably had you confused. I get confused easy anyway, so that's fine.
I've never used Discord.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
You have to have a server to join first, and then you kind of go from there.
It sounds beyond my.
Fat Cat Funnies.
Oh, it went to the Yahoo. Okay.
And it looks like Mike did too.
To Yahoo?
No, I sent it to Fat Cat Funnies.
At Yahoo?
I'm assuming. I did just say Fat Cat Funnies.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you save my password, you stupid computer?
$27 showing as sent.
Look on my phone. Riveting television.
Oh, yeah.
Watch Ian fumble along.
It's okay. I'm here. I can provide commentary. Watch as Ian messes up with technology.
LinkedIn. On the 27th. Oh, there it is. I found it. Got it. Take a look. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a closer look at it. I dig the hand lettering.
Ooh, hand lettering. You definitely know how to get them.
Yeah.
Oh, God, when I was blocking out the panels on this, I just took a Micron 1 and just did a quick thing for it, but I messed up making like the first line that made it like hugely off. So I had to break out the good old Presto.
That's all right. And that's like one of the only whiteouts that I find that it's like safe to write over.
Yeah, and the smell will definitely make you high.
But yeah, Martha's. I got the pieces. I just took a quick look. I'll take a better look after the show. I'll write you back. And Michael said he sent one too.
When in doubt, white it out. Right from Mike McMadden.
You're not Michael's rewards. Midnight Studios, yes.
Yep, that's Mike.
I don't have a new email. I only have one from that I replied to in like 2021.
I would say that's a bit old.
Mike McMahon, hello. When in doubt, white it out.
Yep. Can't say I disagree.
There is something very satisfying about doing a piece that doesn't need whiteout, though.
Oh, I completely agree.
It's like,
Mike say sent it to your Gmail.
Oh, okay. You sent it to Gmail.
I'm trying a different pencil lead lately.
Softer, harder?
It's a B, so...
Okay, so softer.
Yeah, softer. I can never... Yeah, H is hard, B is soft. I know this shit. Some part of me knows this stuff. I got... I have it in my go bag. Yeah, I've been using and that's the other cat. Let's see, the Neox graphite.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Warren Johnson got me turned on to it.
Ah, yes.
He like swears by it, so I was like, all right, I'll get some of it and see how it is. And I gotta say, I like it. I've been using a
What do you notice is the biggest difference?
well, the softer lead is a bit darker, but if it smudges, I can clean it up really easy. So that's been good, and I kind of like the way it feels. It doesn't break as easy either.
Yeah, and if you can erase it, that's one of the big problems I've always had with soft leads. Is that they just kind of, it's almost like, at times it felt almost like trying to erase charcoal.
Yeah, you can definitely erase it, because I've definitely made some goofy stuff. So I'll definitely say it can be fixed. And since I like to heavily detail my pencils...
That you do.
Hmm?
I said that you do.
Yep. I love to render. And then I often want to kick myself later.
Yeah.
There was a space battle I drew recently, and I was looking at it and I was just like, what the hell was I thinking?
I've seen some of your pages where I've thought those things.
Yeah.
Just from a labor standpoint.
Yep.
Because when I sent you this picture, I was like, I know that there's not a whole lot. You can't really see the rocks and stuff, but it takes too long to draw them. And I didn't want to, since I'm inking them, I'm just going to draw them once in ink rather than drawing them twice.
That's perfectly fine.
If somebody else was inking it, I would have to go back. I would have to spend more time just doing the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, Peter definitely complains about some of my detail work.
That would be interesting. Caleb, how you doing? Good to see you. Because Peter's comes from that old school group, so maybe he likes them a little looser.
He does.
That would be an interesting exercise. I've only ever been inked by other people a handful of times.
I inked one of your pieces once, not professionally, but did it as a thing. I inked a Thanos piece you did.
Yeah.
I was still really learning how to ink. Not sure I ever really figured it out. I can fake it.
I generally think that there's two different schools of thinking when it comes to cartooning and applying ink to drawings. There are those that look at inking as a separate process, and it's almost like making it slicker. Mm-hmm. And then there's the people who look at it as an extension or a continuation of the drawing process. And as a person who doesn't have very steady hands, I pretty much have to look at it as an extension of drawing. Like I can occasionally get thanks to some of these new tools, like I've been using these Tombow pens.
Oh, the Tombos are great.
And you can see that it almost fakes a sharp inking line.
Yep.
But it's not quite. So I do better when it's more, like like the Milk Kniff, or if you think some of the older artists where it's there, or Gray Morrow is a good
Oh god,
example,
yeah.
who is definitely drawing in ink.
Oh yeah, that's beyond a doubt.
I actually have one of his right here. I look at it all the time because of that, because you can tell when you look at his stuff. This is a Buck Rogers piece.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was Buck Rogers.
Especially in like the face here and things, like he did a lot of pencil work, and you can see where it didn't quite erase, and then he's making the decisions in ink, and that's why they have that like very confident movement to him. And he did, I mean, to me this looks like an early kind of like a flare pen, but it hasn't faded, and then there's like a tiny bit of brush here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it didn't say Wilma on that, though, I almost would have thought it was Flash Gordon, because the way Buck looks in that, he looks more traditionally like Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Speaking of Flash Gordon, what's his name? Who did that? His name's on the tip of my tongue.
Which one? Alex Raymond?
Alex Raymond. His stuff was like, you look at some of the early Gordon, like some of the really early stuff, like within the first year or two, you're like, okay, this is really good, but what is it that everybody loves about this? Then suddenly you hit this point where you're just like, oh God, I see it now.
Yeah. Mike says his favorite inker over his stuff is Andrew Magnum. I'm the latter, wish I was the former, and most of my stuff is with those Tombos, is what he says.
Mm.
Well, the Buck Rogers early stuff, like it's nowhere near as well drawn as the Flash Gordon stuff, even though it came out earlier with some of those concepts, those science fiction concepts. There was a saying that people used to say, it was like, that's like Buck Rogers type stuff,
Yep.
referring to technology.
Martha says to forward that email to me.
Okay, I will.
Very cool. Yeah. I think I have alleycat comics@gmail.com if people want to email that, but I can't remember if that's right or not. I'm looking now.
Mike, we have good company in our continuation of drawing. Walt Simonson considers himself a continuation of drawing and inking, as does Howard Chaykin and Chris Sandy, actually.
Yeah, I'm also kind of a continuation person, I think.
Yeah. It just depends if you're still making decisions at that point. That's really where I think from, the person laying down the lines.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do make some decisions when inking, but I do most of my stuff with a pencil, and I like highly rendered pieces in that sense.
Yeah. And then there's stuff that I come back in with these Kuretake brush pens, because like as much as I like the Tombos, sometimes you need a little bit more flex.
Oh yeah. No, I use those too.
Yeah.
I have at least 2 Kuretake pens. It's weird how they come in pairs, like Munsters and Addams Family.
When I was a kid, I loved the Munsters.
I did too. I also like that remake show they did for a while.
I didn't see it. Was it fun?
I enjoyed it. I think it was a bit too repetitive at points, but I liked it. So
Was it? Yeah. Lately, I've been watching. I got Paramount Plus from a friend for Christmas, and so I've been watching. I never saw Discovery, so I've been watching Star Trek Discovery.
I need to watch the new movie that they just put out.
I haven't seen that. We're trying to watch them in order, so we've got to make it through Discovery and then Strange New Worlds and all that.
Yeah, I have to watch more Strange New Worlds. I've seen most of the first season.
I'm really enjoying it so far, and I would say that I'm. I put DS9 as my North Star. I hold TOS separate, like it's its own groundbreaking stuff. It's tough to measure against like the follow-ups, like as far as which is better because you're always gonna, you know.
Yeah. I
look
know
at the
exactly what you
series.
mean. I consider TOS its own thing as well. I just love TOS for what it is, and that is fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I would put it on the other series. Currently, we just started season 3. I would go, TNG, DS9, TNG, and then I put Discovery so far. I was not a big fan of Enterprise, and Voyager was okay, but
Yeah, that's basically how I felt about them. I thought Voyager was okay. It had good episodes. It had bad episodes. Enterprise doesn't really do anything for me.
after the pilot for Voyager, I had a hard time making it through the first season on the rewatch.
Hmm.
The pilot was great. I loved the setup with the Maquis, other quadrant, all that stuff. And then it slowed down so much.
Yep, completely agree.
Yeah.
It didn't really get good again until they put 7 and 9 in. Although I like the elf-like character they had that only lives like 10 years. Can't remember her name.
Kess.
Yeah, it was like Kess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had Neelix and Kess.
Neelix, my God.
I like Neelix, but yeah. So I really like the girl who was half Klingon. I think she was my favorite character.
B'Elanna?
Lana Torres.
Yeah. She was a cool character. I agree.
I liked her and I like Tuvok. But then again, I like Vulcans. I had an idea for a Star Trek character. If I ever play the RPG or something like that, I want to play a Trill that has the symbiote but didn't want it. Basically had to get it to save the symbiote. And now they've bonded, so can't really get rid of it. I think that'd be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, because they had one episode where somebody else had to carry one, but they didn't bond or anything. It was just to keep it alive, right?
Yep. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to do with it, because I was like, they have some like deep space thing or something like that. And like the character's the only other Trill on the ship, and it's like had to keep it alive, but they bonded, so you can't take it out now. And but yeah, they're kind of resentful in some ways. And I just thought that'd be kind of an interesting dynamic.
I agree. I would say that would be cool. And I've read some of the comics, and I like the TOS DC run. There's some really good issues in
Those
that.
are great. Those are really fun. Some of those, especially like whenever you had Wesley in there, and you get like Picard, shut up, Wesley.
Oh, the TNG ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Will Wheaton used to make fun of those. He was like, "Yeah, I'm in the comics, and everybody tells me to shut up."
That was the first. Nichelle Nichols wrote an issue. John DeLance. They would have the stunt casting where I'm sure the actor just had an idea and then somebody filled it out.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of decent ones, and there were some issues later in the run that Gray Morrow drew, bringing him back up again.
Yeah, those are some fun comics. I also like the Babylon 5 ones that DC did.
Were those good? I didn't read those.
They were actually all in canon too.
I have a hard time with, and I'll preface this by saying, I really don't read a ton of TV show licensed books.
I don't either.
Or
Star Trek, when it was coming out, and how old I was with Next Gen, yeah, I was collecting that. But I was like in 7th grade or something. Was it like 1990, 91? So
yeah, it was right in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a kid, and I grabbed them as I was getting anything else. The B5 stuff I had heard was going to be canon, so I wanted to read it.
That makes sense.
B5 was my favorite science fiction TV show series.
Really?
Yep, that and really like Firefly too, but that really didn't get long enough of a run.
Yeah. It should not shock anyone that I even though I don't ever think I want to watch it again, I liked the show Sequest when I was a kid.
Oh, I used to like that show when I was a kid. I used to watch that too. That's
I
the
don't
dolphin and stuff.
Yeah, and you had Roy Scheider from Jaws as the lead, and Ted Raimi. And I
And
remember
the
I
kid
met
met.
the guy from was it Neverending Story 2, Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah, he passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember meeting Ted Raimi at Mid Ohio Con one year, and I was like, yeah, because I think this was just after the end of like the Xena run of all of those spin-off shows that he would show up in.
Oh yeah,
And that was and it was those were super popular and they made lots of money. And I remember talking to him like, oh yeah, I used to watch Sequest. I liked that as a kid. And he was just like, oh, so you were the one that liked that show.
You're the one why we had to do like 6 seasons. Yeah, no, I used to like that show.
Although I'd be nervous to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's not high on my priority list of things to rewatch. I've rewatched Babylon 5 through a few different times. Like I've even went and watched the Straczynski's airing order of the Straczynski order to the series. I actually went and watched it in that order.
That's a thing.
Yep, it's slightly different.
Okay.
Not much different, but slightly different. It's on old website from way back in the day, in the early days of the internet, The Lurker's Guide to Babylon 5.
Wow.
And it's still up there. I went over there a few years ago, actually almost 10 years ago now, and I looked at the Straczynski viewing order and gave it a watch.
I know you can watch it for free on Tubi. I've seen it there when I've been scrolling through. I've considered it.
It's on Amazon right now too, so that's where I've been watching it lately.
Okay. Break out the teeny tiny pen, the 0.1 pen.
Ooh, the 0.1. Get all the little stipply details. I think I got that chin right.
It's really for that little infinity symbol. That little infinity symbol.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. The limescate symbol.
That's what I need the teeny tiny pen for.
Yeah, the mathematical name for it. Limescate.
World's teeniest pen.
Well, you could do the 0.05 or whatever too.
I always break those. I don't have a delicate enough hand.
Oh, I've broken a fair number of them myself. I had a set of microns, not microns, Copics that are Copics, however the hell you pronounce it. And I was like, oh, all right, these things are expensive. I'm going to love them. They're going to be great. And the first thing I did is I broke that one.
Ugh.
I was like, oh, great. Yeah, the girl I'm drawing right now, her the hoodie that she's wearing is like 3 or 4 sizes too big. And it's really beat up.
Yeah, I know you like using that as a design element for like movement and stuff, like the big baggy.
Yep. Yeah. The backstory was it was her brother's hoodie. So he met an unfortunate end.
That'll work.
Well, it's coming along nice.
Thank you.
I'm liking it.
Didn't want to mess up the chin. And I was trying to give it, like you said, slightly more Asian features.
Yep. Not that you can really tell with my manga style, so. But I try.
And I think people, it'll be interesting for people to see because, like, you and I have some similar comic book influences, but it's basically like with none of the manga influences. And that was one of the challenges of approaching your design, was figuring out where I could approximate that with what I do and still staying true to the design.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Makes perfect sense.
Andrew's here. Hey, Andrew.
Hello. Guess I'm the plus. Ian plus.
Ian plus, yes. Andrew's a big Conan fan.
Well, he's with the right people then. I think both of us are big Conan fans.
Yep.
And Jeremy is probably one of the biggest Conan fans. He's like a Howardian scholar.
Oh, it's that gentleman.
You
had mentioned this about. I had forgotten that it was that. I didn't. I don't think I connected that was who you moved in with.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, you've met him.
Yeah. At previous Rhode Island, right?
Yep, he was at Rhode Island. He
Yes.
helped drive me down there and things. So
it's all coming together. Takes me a few years to catch up.
It's okay. Completely understand. It's perfectly fine. I just blame MS. So. Let's see. Just got a bunch of emails.
The hope is when this is shrunk down, that it's just a really strong silhouette, and then like the right angles for the framing of this window with the light behind her. Hopefully, it gives it a good pop. That's the hope.
I think you can pull it off.
That's another one of those like shorthand things that I use to show like man-made. Is just throw in some 90-degree angles, and I know they occur in nature, like, but more often than not, I think the shorthand brain tells people like, oh, a person made that.
Yeah, generally speaking. I mean, nature doesn't generally do perfect straight lines and things, but they get close enough.
Yeah, like those undersea shelves.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we call close enough. So.
Yeah, just eyeballed it.
Yeah, pretty much. Roshan's just like, yep, there we go. It's great.
That'll do.
Sort of great.
And so try to stay really conscious of like, there are artists that will render like the same line and almost the same texture over a whole thing, and they can make it work. And I've always found that with my work, I lose, like it just turns into visual chaos. Like I tried that really hatchy style for a while. Everybody plays around with like a Franklin Booth style. Yep. And I learned that for my stuff to read, I have to be really conscientious of like making sure that each element that's different, made of different stuff, has a very different texture. And it's been a really good way to help me think my way through pieces, and not just like, because you can get into a groove where you're just like render, and then you take that rendering, or at least I do, or used to more, onto things that, like, just because out of momentum, or your deadline or whatever.
Yep.
So
yeah, I've been playing with a little bit of Silvestri's rendering lately.
Are we talking like Wolverine Dan Green era or Matt Banning?
Those Batman stuff he just did.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that was him doing his,
Yep.
in booth direction, with his own flair, of course.
Oh yeah, he was definitely inspired by Booth. But yeah, but I mean, I do love the Wolverine Dan Green stuff.
That's my favorite Silvestri. No offense to Mark if he hears this on his new stuff.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
One of my best trades ever was I traded a piece of my artwork for a page of Conan of his.
Ooh.
And it was one that he had inked himself. And I took it over to him during the convention. And I said, hey, Mark, can I get you to sign this? And he still does it to this day. If you ever see him at one of the shows that Top Cow's set up at, he'll do one signature for free still.
Well, that's good.
And I said, hey, Mark, I got this page and I really enjoyed reading these. I loved your early Conan stuff. It was really good. And he was like, oh, it wasn't very good. And I was like, well, would you give me that it was fun? And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you can say it's fun.
That sounds like Mark Silvestri.
And he was very nice. It was just...
I have not met him. He's on my list of image creators to get to comment on my work. I've gotten Rob Liefeld, Jim Valentino, and Eric Larson.
Yeah, so you got...
I can kind of count Todd McFarlane, but I was like 12, so I don't know if that one really counts.
I don't know how often Mark comes to the East Coast.
No, I think I'd have to go to San Diego probably to get him.
He might do New York. I think Top Cow's been in New York.
Yeah, I believe they have. Just haven't been there for a while.
Yeah.
Alison McGlone. Well, yes, it is, Andrew. This is Alison McGlone. It's McGlone. Alice only has one L.
Do you do M, big M, little c, capital G, or do you do?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep, I do it in the classic Irish clan way.
Yeah, I didn't know if you did the little super script, or would you do it like the cartoon way, where they put the little line under it? Yes, like.
Yeah, basically, it's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I sign all my stuff Alley Cat, so
yeah,
I do Alley, and then I put a cat symbol there because I am the Alley Cat. I thought it was clever when I came up with that name. Turns out like 1 billion other people use it too.
There's only one we acknowledge here.
That's right. I also find it funny that I'm Alley Cat Comics and you have Fat Cat Funnies. And they're both orange cats.
Hey, it's a small world.
Yeah.
I keep a picture of the cat it was based on in the office here.
I have pictures of Hobbs all around here. I miss him terribly. But I got Kaiju now to go with Rocket. Kaiju is gonna go get Snip tomorrow.
How old is Kaiju?
He is 7 months.
Oh, okay.
He's a little.
He's still plenty young.
Oh yeah, he's super young. And he's young and cute, and he knows it. It's the only way to survive. Poor cat. Yes, but sane me. And I don't have to deal with the ammonia smell that can come from a cat spraying.
Yeah, that's horrible. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, that was a fun piece to draw.
Beyond the Black River cover. Yeah, that would have been... I think I've seen that cover. That is a very cool cover.
I am surprised that Titan doesn't do more sketch covers, actually.
Yeah, I have a couple of sketch covers from them.
Do you?
Yeah, the not many though. Like I only have like one or two. Like from Conan #1, I think they had one.
Yeah, that was the only one that I found. Did they do any other ones?
I thought they had a 25.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Might be it. Basically, one of the big things I get from my comic guy is sketch covers. So
I've been trying to cut back, but I was at the NEC in Brockton, and in the dollar bin there were 2 sketch covers, so couldn't pass on it.
Oh, I would not have passed up dollar bin sketch covers. I don't even care what book it was. I probably would have grabbed them.
That was my thought. One of them was a Spider-Man, and then the other one was the first issue of the FF like Future Foundation.
Yeah, I would have taken both of those immediately, especially a Spider-Man.
Yeah, for $1. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Wait a second. Where is it? I did get a 2-pack of these to play with. They're just blank comics.
Blank comics.
Yep, they're just completely blank. And, blank cover, blank pages all throughout it. There's no even setup or anything in them. And I was like, I should play with these.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I know DC did something like that with like just the Wonder Woman title on the front. And
Yeah, the Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. I believe they did them for.
Oh, they did all 3.
Because I believe I have the Wonder Woman and the Superman. I think I have 2 Wonder Woman and 2 Supermans. But I never got the Batman one. I've only really drawn with the Wonder Woman one, and they have panels already laid out inside of it.
I did get one comic in the mail the other day that I'll share. It's it's actually an Australian Phantom comic.
Oh, that looks cool.
And this was the first time they ever reprinted the first story, the Singh Brotherhood, because King had lost all of the originals, like the tear sheets and stuff.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And this was compiled by what King had in newspapers and fans, actually. And they acknowledged like the fans that submitted the missing pages.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'd never read it before, and I'm intrigued by the Phantom. The artwork is, in the beginning it was laid out by Lee Falk and inked by Ray Moore, and then eventually Ray Moore takes over the strip drawing completely.
Yeah, I knew he picked up eventually. I wasn't sure where, but yeah, Lee Falk, he was the creator of the Phantom and everything, right?
Yep. Yeah, and one of the reasons he stopped was because he created also a strip called Mandrake the Magician.
Yes, he did. That's right. He was part of the core 3 major strips. The only one he didn't really touch was Flash Gordon.
Yeah, and if anyone ever heard of it was not a great cartoon, but some people remember it fondly. It was called Defenders of the Earth.
I remember that show. I remember the theme song was so catchy.
Defenders of the Earth.
They fought Ming the Merciless and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny to think that now in today's climate that a newspaper strip about a magician who fights crime was like super popular.
Yep. What was it? I got
Andrew says Mike Ruth is doing some. Oh, is he doing a sketch cover for you? That's cool.
Oh, that's very cool. What was it? This is something I picked up. First collection of Ultra Mega by James Herron and Dave Stewart.
Oh, cool.
Super fun book so far. I've read the first couple of issues of it. It's very good so far. I'm enjoying it. I have a sketch cover of the first issue. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I like James Herron's art, so.
Yeah. Ultra Mega. I have not read that.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's basically like Ultraman and stuff like that, and like giant kaijus and things. I mean, the art is beautiful. It's kind of like weird in a few places too, which I kind of like.
Well, James Herron can sling it, so I'm sure the visuals are.
Oh god, yeah! Like this page alone, I love.
Oh wow, yeah!
It's just
impact.
Awesome.
And Dave Stewart, it was the colorist who worked on Hellboy forever.
Yep. Oh, no, it's really good book. Really, really good book so far. I've been really enjoying it. And the other one I got was collection of Space Mullet, which was Daniel Warren Johnson's first foray into comics. He did it as a webcomic. I don't remember if it's the Dark Horse printing or the Image one. I think it's the Image one. Yep, it's the Image one. But what I like about it is it's all in black and white with blue.
Oh, cool.
This is blue highlights throughout. It's blue accents. And he is hugely influenced by James Harren. You can definitely see it in Space Mullet.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff.
I remember the Kurt Busiek, Carlos Pacheco run on Superman that Dave Stewart colored. It was just, you had so many talented people, and Jose, not Garrison, Jesus Marino, who went on to pencil JSA, was the inker. So you had a guy who could draw, inking a phenomenally talented drawer. You had a very good story by Busiek, and then you had lettering by Richard Starkings and colors by Dave Stewart. Like that was
that's a match made in heaven book.
Yeah, and it's one you don't hear much about anymore. And I don't know, I'm sure that it's out of print, but like
I have to track that down.
Yeah,
I haven't read that one.
Here's one of the little tricks I like to show people, because everyone's like, oh, how do you do these things? You can see the edge of the cheekbone and the face here, and then it breaks into the hair. I have a perpendicular that breaks it there. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm doing the rendering, you can create a tangent by having the hair line up with the cheekbone. So you need the hair to go beyond the edge of the cheekbone so that it creates more depth. So like this breaks here and then moves over on two sides here. And there's a little bit of rim lighting because there's light behind her. So that's like one of my little tricks that I do to create more depth, is to intentionally do the break and then to make sure that the next shadow there doesn't line up with the cheekbone, so that it doesn't create a tangent and mess up your depth.
That makes sense.
And you'll see it often on, like, Mort Meskin's a great one that breaks it down. And then here's some like Golden Age Kubert that I was looking at the other day, which I just love.
Oh, Kubert. It's always amazing to look at.
And you'll see...
Oh, it's definitely Golden Age Kubert.
I mean, heavily influenced by Milton Caniff at this point.
Yep. Yeah, he hasn't fully broken from that. You can definitely see the Caniff in him.
Yeah, you can see he did the same thing in the way he did the highlights in the hair.
Like, yeah, move it over a little bit more.
There's a little swoofy bit. There's the break. And then here's the jawline and the ear coming up. And the highlights don't line up with the facial structure, so that it doesn't look like that it's just, so that it doesn't flatten it out.
Yep. No, that definitely works.
I put too much detail on her suit.
And she's effectively got a it's almost kind of like a tank top. Her cloak/cape kind of covers a lot of her. So
there were a couple of pieces that you did where you had it split, and I really liked that visual. So that's why I tried to carry that through. And it helps with creating the pyramid effect.
Oh yeah, no, that was purposeful. So
yeah,
I was trying to do my triangle frame and everything, and I also like to make the cloak kind of move on its own, kind of like Spawn's cloak.
Yeah, it's always moving, even if it's indoors.
Yep.
Just a little more ink here.
I definitely got that from McFarlane. I owe a lot of my art style to Todd McFarlane.
I mean, he was hugely influential, especially at the time when he was drawing lots of interiors.
Yeah.
If you look back at like those issues of Comics Scene, Comics Journal, Wizard, like he was all over the top lists for stuff.
Yep, he's always been one of my favorites.
And he's so stylized. I think people forget how much stylized stuff was in that, and how much cartooning he did.
Yeah. No, he was very cartoony.
I think when people in their mind's eye that I talk to, and they're describing his work, I think they're generally describing the stuff that he did, like with Greg Capullo, because they worked together for so long.
Yeah, and Spawn and everything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, his initial work was very, very stylized and very cartoony. You can definitely see it with like the issue of Spider-Man that had Santa Claus in it.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great example. I don't remember the issue, but the number I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the number. I remember it's when they basically get thrown out of their apartment or penthouse apartment or wherever it was. They were out on the street. I don't think I like the way I did that.
I had a little trouble making sure I had enough of where the hip bone was. You could get the structure of the hip bone underneath the shorts here. Oh, they're pants, but
yeah, she has baggy pants. But yes, I can definitely see that. One of the things about her is she does have a small frame, so you can get away with a bit with her. And I purposely made her frame kind of small. Then again, she's also a young teenager, so.
Yeah, I have her as short, but I you know me, I have trouble drawing like too thin of people.
Yeah, well, she should be muscled because she's trained to fight all of her life, pretty much. That she's athletic. Bruce Lee was kind of the inspiration for her body type look. So. I mean, let's face it, she's basically my variation of Iron Fist. So
another book we talk a lot about, Power Man and Iron Fist.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Iron Fist. Went out of my way to get the complete like burn run of it.
What was it? Do you remember the first issue of either Power Man and Iron Fist or the first Iron Fist book where you were like, yeah, this is the stuff?
Oh God, it was. I can picture the cover. It had a white cover and it had the two of them together on it, doing something. And I remember reading that book and I was just like, I'm in.
Yeah.
But I mean, went out of my way to get this.
First appearance. Look at that.
Yep.
Collection flex right there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I had handy close to me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. This was a Christmas present to myself a few years ago. I don't really spend a lot of money on comics anymore. Don't have it.
I was actually looking at some of those super cheap tablets that are like $40, and I was wondering if they were just literally all I want it for is to read digital comics. Like I just want it for like the Marvel app or the DC app.
Yep.
Or the Golden Age comics that are online for free. Freeze, I tell you.
Free is always good. I support free.
Yeah, there's like a digital comics library that I've read tons of, like St. John, Avon, all the old stuff.
Oh, the really old stuff. That sounds like fun. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of stuff in the Internet Archive too.
I was actually wondering one thing about the Internet Archive, and maybe you would know the answer to this. And I haven't gone into their legalese or whatever. If you put something on the Internet Archive yourself, are you releasing it into the public domain, or does it still belong to the person who?
I believe it still belongs to the person who copyrighted it initially.
Exactly. That's the question.
Because you can watch like the original Star Wars is like up there.
Oh, okay.
It's also on the Smithsonian website.
Is it the before the special edition?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
The original doesn't even say A New Hope.
Might have to watch that at some point. I haven't seen that version of the movie since my parents' house as a kid with the VHSs.
I hold on to my Laserdisc player and bought a second one to ensure that if anything happened to my other one, I would be able to still play the original Star Wars trilogy Laserdiscs.
That is a level of dedication.
If I got to draw Star Wars, I would be very, very happy. Granted, I want to do my own stuff. I don't want to write other people's things. I have so many ideas.
I mean, and there's also fun stuff that you can play with just on your own. Like,
yeah,
there's tons of sci-fi and superhero characters in that Golden Age stuff. One of the books that I posted a link for was the book Dime Box Comics I did with my pals, Jay Kennedy and Nate Lovett and Paul Bryant and friends. Mm-hmm. And, we just did, it's the same advice that I gave to young creators for like my entire career of like, just get a few buddies together. Each of you only got to do like 6 to 8 pages and you got a book.
Yep.
And, we had the Golden Age Daredevil in there. Sub Saunders is the one that I did. Jay did a Space Smith. And they're all like varying shades of, the archetypes of like Flash Gordon or, Buck Rogers or Superman. So like there's plenty on there. I was actually reading the other day the first appearance of the Blue Beetle, and he's not a costume superhero. He's wearing a big jacket and he's got beetle glasses on and he's got a beetle emblem on his chest like the Green Hornet.
That's kind of awesome.
He looks like the Green Hornet. And I'm wondering, like, and at a certain point, superheroes became the default. So they turned him into a superhero. Charles Nicholas created him, and he went on to draw for Charlton for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was one of the old guard of Charlton.
Yeah, and he was there until the very end doing, like, war and romance comics with Louis Alicea as his inker.
Damn. Yeah, that's... early 80s?
Up until then, yeah. Up until like basically from when John Santangelo opened the company in the 40s, after he and his partner got out of jail.
Yep.
True story.
Remember yeah, no, I know that he was a criminal.
They started printing comics because it was cheaper than starting and stopping the presses.
Yep.
And Charles Nicholas was there basically from the beginning until even that brief little relaunch in '84, where you had like 2 books by Ditko that were static, and then a few other books. They reprinted Timmy the Timid Ghost for some reason.
Of all the things to reprint,
I don't know why, but I thought she would have like scratches, like she's been through heck, I would say.
Oh yeah, she gets beat up. She heals quick, but she gets beat up. What the hell did I do with it? I do have something that I've been working on that is definitely taking advantage of the public domain and giving it my own spin. Give me a second here.
Well, I love the what ifs of, because you can only use, like with the new Popeye, you can only use the very first stuff. Like you're basically creating an alternate reality where it goes off on a new story from that starting point.
Yep, yeah, you can only use the first year or so.
Yeah,
but you have access to all of Thimble Theater, like up until that point. So you can go kind of nuts with it. I mean, Cigar has a lot of really cool stuff. Because Popeye didn't show up for a while. I mean, he definitely took off when the strip took off, but that was definitely his claim to fame at one point. But they do get a lot of stuff from that. I have way too much paper.
I think I said the exact same words when I was working on my studio, cleaning it up.
I just packed my studio finally. I finally got my art desk back. I've had a TV on it for like a month and a half.
Now you'll be a drawing machine again.
Well, as much as I can be. Okay. All right, got that out. Let's put this stuff down. Let's not drop that stuff, though. This will also be the one of those situations where I definitely do too much detail. But yeah, this is well, it's my political cartoon. Let's see. Okay, so this is something I've been working on. And this is my space opera.
Oh yeah, you shared some of that with us the last time you were on.
Yep. This is inspired by a real thing. The void, the great nothing, a seemingly endless sea of darkness, 330 million light years across. The Bodith void is actually that big. And it's
You're going to print it to actual size, right?
exactly. There's enough paper on the planet. Let's see. For the past 100 years, the Galactic Patrol has stood watch over the vast darkness when it swallowed over 2,000 galaxies. Any craft entering the void is never seen again. After 100 years, something came out. This is the last stand of the Galactic Patrol. And that's when I went nuts with detail.
Yeah, I'd say so. Can you yeah, see that lower part? Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. My hands are sore looking at it.
My hands are still sore from doing it.
Yeah. Now, what pen did you use for your motion lines there?
The top motion lines?
Yeah.
That is a few different pens, mostly microns.
Okay.
And my good old crystal.
Okay.
So I get some of the extra, like, dirt kind of to it.
Yeah.
But this is my Lensman book.
Look at you with your custom drawing boards.
Yep. I literally printed them out on Strathmore paper.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I mean, this is a Strathmore board, but...
yeah, it's a nice shot. Can you put that one back?
This one?
Yeah. I want to see that one on that panel on the left. Panel 2. Yeah. Having people just walking forward is tougher than people think it is.
That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And you've got the nice plane, you've got the good perspective, you've got it on both sides so you can see the horizon, see it coming together. Yeah. It's a nice shot.
Thank you. Yeah, the guy in the back I made purposely very lanky and stuff because he's supposed to come from a low gravity world. So he's thinner.
Character details in design.
Yep. But yeah, so that's something I've been loosely working on for a bit. And that is my journey of the lens. Because when I found out all the Lensman stuff was all in public domain, I went, ooh, mine. So that's how I'm doing my own Star Wars, because George Lucas basically did his own Lensman. The Jedi are literally Lensman. The Green Lantern Corps is definitely Lensman.
See, you can do your own thing.
Yep. And no matter what Julie Schwartz said, he ripped off Lensman. I don't care. It's way, way too close.
He was all over the place with his sci-fi conventions and his sci-fi fanzines. He knew all that stuff.
Yeah, he had.
And he internalized all that stuff.
Yep. Because he was big reading the pulps back then, and Lensman was like, that's basically where space opera comes from. I mean, Dune makes reference to it.
Is that your phone or mine?
That was mine. Got a message. Probably from space. I have to turn this thing off. I'm apparently in a I don't. You know how Facebook has those like group message things now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a Frazetta one, and it doesn't shut up.
I have had to leave several of those because they were just too much for me. I
Yep.
can't.
Yeah, I generally just mute them in case I need to go and reference something later.
There have actually been a couple of groups online I've considered bowing out of as they keep, even though the group rules say like no politics or whatever, they keep deciding to post things I don't want to see.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same. It's like I have a political cartoon I did, but I'm not about to show it because it's a political cartoon. I don't want to talk politics. I want to draw comics.
Today we're doing future post-apocalyptic space stuff.
Yep,
Having a good time.
exactly. Definitely do not want to go into my politics.
Not today.
I wouldn't even talk about that on my own live streams.
No.
Nope. The extent of the politics that I said on my live streams was go vote. That was it.
Yeah.
Let's rough out the ground on this. Yeah.
Go background.
Well, I intended on doing the panel below is going to be mostly silhouette, so...
So with a panel like that, did you, when you were envisioning it, did you envision the character first or the setting? Like, what was the point in the story where you're like, I need to focus on this?
Basically, I was thinking of a back alley in a city.
Okay.
And I pictured the character that was kind of down the alleyway. And some things basically see her down there.
It's always interesting because some artists think of a pose that they want to work into the story, or they'll think of the story and like work around. You know, it's just I always enjoy hearing the storytelling direction. It's fascinating, and like sometimes when I'm sitting there sketching to myself, I'll think, well, what did Joe or what did Allie do? That maybe I can try that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I did it, I roughed out 2 pages basically to kind of give me an idea of what I wanted to do. And the first page thumbnails didn't really coincide with what I ended up doing. I haven't roughed the second page in yet, but
that's the I'm trying. I have a tiny little screen. So you have like establishing shot, close up, and then reaction, or is the close up the reaction and then like the reply is the mouth?
Yes, the mouth is basically trying to my thought is that she hears something and kind of looks and then sees that there's these things at the end of the there, and then you see like the mouth type thing, but I'm like, that's not really getting what I want. So I redid it to do more of a shot of her for the first shot, and then where she like hears the noise and have like I'll hand letters some type of growling up here or something like that. And then I'll have the below it I have,
because with the way you have that, to me it looks like she's not in a hurry to turn. It's like a subtle look back almost.
Yeah.
She's
not that worried yet. So she hears something and then she kind of looks and sees there's these things down there. And I was using Max Schreck's Nosferatu design a little bit as my inspiration.
Another thing that's public domain.
Yes, it is. I also really enjoyed Robert Eggers' movie. So
I haven't seen it yet, but I would like to see it.
It's very good, very good. Ms. J hasn't dragged you to it. He's like a huge horror movie buff.
And my wife is a big Eggers fan. She actually saw it without me with her pals. So
she went out with the girlfriends.
Yeah,
I saw it with Jeremy on Christmas.
Nice. Going to the movies is a good Christmas exercise.
Yep. It's a tradition for me. I always try to go to the movies on Christmas. Yeah, so I saw that. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, to answer Joe St. Pierre, yes, this is live.
Hey, Joe. Wow, Joe's here. Isn't this past your bedtime?
Anyway, I gotta stay up till at least 10 tonight.
He posted a beautiful color Spider-Man and Venom group shot, like a wraparound sketch cover. If people want to check that out, that's
I'll
over
have
on
to
his
check
page.
that out. Joe's art's amazing.
I embarrassed Joe once by sharing with him how I got my first comic book of his, and it was an issue of Secret Weapons that I bought at the local video rental store in a multi-pack. And it was random comics in this multi-pack. There was Valiant, there was Marvel, there was all kinds of stuff. But that was my first foray into reading the Joe St. Pierre art drawn comics. And
that's pretty cool.
And as good as that stuff was when I was a kid, like the Venom Wolverine stuff, I think that he's doing his best stuff now. Like I love the way he's like experimented with those ink textures with that screen pattern that he does, and like the way he inks his own work and the lighting.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of his stuff pretty much forever. I think I met him at a con with you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you did. Well, coming up on 9:30.
Yep, it's getting on towards your bedtime.
It is, yeah. I had a couple of early wake-up calls this week. I had one where I had to get up when the first number was a 4. That was not pleasant.
No, when the first number's a 4, that's never pleasant.
Yeah.
I got to get up early tomorrow myself because I got to take the cat to the vet between 7 and 8 in the morning.
Well, thank you so much, Allison, for coming to hang out with me tonight.
Well, thank you for having me and working on the cover. I can't wait to get this thing going.
Yeah, and I'll keep inking, and hopefully we'll get the color done this weekend, so you'll be off to the races.
That would be fantastic. And then I'll put out I'm horrible at posting updates, but I'll post an update. So.
And thanks everybody for popping in, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, wonderful weekend, and I'll hope to see you next Wednesday.
Yeah, hope to see you people when I can. Thank you very much for having me again.
Hey, anytime, always welcome, and it's always great. So
Always appreciate it.
Good night, everybody.
Night.